What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr War Games, and today, as you can see with the inclusion of Dark Law, I am bringing you a teched out branded Despia profile update. If that wasn't enough, at the end of the video as well, I'll also tell you how you guys can get yourself 15 of the outer sleeves from the brand new branded Despia oversleeves that are being featured in the extra deck today as well. So stay tuned until the end of the video for that. I'm also going to show you combos of how the tech cards within the deck work and operate. So you're going to get everything you need. A profile, a giveaway, sleeves, amazing looking cards, and some combos. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe. You're going to need to for the giveaway anyway. And let's dive headfirst into this teched out branded Despia profile. Now, I'm going to blitz through pretty much the standard lineups, which of course is triple Oluba, followed by the one Tragedy and the one Ad Libitum, alongside two Albaz, two Makoria. Now, the reason I've kept this at 2, it can very easily be cut at 1, is I am now playing Gold Sark in the deck, and the idea behind Makoria is even on its own, it can actually help utilize one of the tech cards. So what I mean by that is, as I zoom in, one of the tech cards just needs a dark monster, and you can basically turn this into this. And if you haven't figured out what that card is yet, well, you'll soon find out. Then for the rest of the monsters, of course, pretty standard. The one Quem, double Cartesia still, alongside the one Albion, triple Ash Blossom, the single Dark Magician, and then the one Saranir and the one Lubellion. You'll see that I've also cut the Aquadolphin in this version, and the reason I've cut that in this version is because the tech cards take up a bit of space, and you don't need to play both sets of the tech that I'm going to show you, but both of them utilize very good and very powerful cards in all ways. So I will explain why we choose those cards as we go through. So that's it for pretty much the standard monster lineup. Nothing really changes there, pretty cookie cutter. Moving on to the spells, triple fusion deployment, again pretty straightforward and simple on this one here, and then of course triple branded fusion, followed by triple branded opening. So, the first of the tech cards, the first one is Mask Change 2. Now, for those of you that don't know what this card does, you discard one card and then target a face-up monster you control that has a level. Send it to the graveyard, and then after that, if it left the field by this effect, you special summon from your extra deck a masked hero monster with the same attribute but a higher level than the attribute of that monster that had on the field. Now, why does that work so nicely? Well, what this can actually help you do is it allows you to dodge stuff like Imperms and Veilers because they target. Now, one of the prime examples are normal summon Aluba, opponent activates Veiler. Chain Mask Change 2. Not only can you tag out the Aluba and still get the search for branded fusion, but you then upgrade Aluba into an anti-Droll and anti-Veiler card. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be like, what? How does that work? Well, for example, let's say we go normal summon Aluba, opponent chains Veiler, chaining 2, Mask Change 2. And we go, okay, cool. Resolve the change. So Mask Change 2 turns Aluba into Masked Hero Darklaw. The Veiler fizzles because it's no longer got its target. We then resolve the Aluba, which lets us add a branded fusion. At this point, any card sent to your opponent's graveyard is banished instead. Now, when you look at Draw Unlock Bird and when you look at Effect Veiler, both of those cards need to be discarded as cost to the graveyard. So because they cannot hit the graveyard, they cannot be activated. So even though we've added and actually met the trigger system for Droll, your opponent cannot activate it because it cannot meet its cost condition of hitting the graveyard. Beautiful. And if that wasn't enough, you've then got a walking, talking Macro Cosmo boss monster that can also rip from your opponent's hand if they add a card as well. So that's where the first tech comes into play. The second tech doesn't really change in the main deck, more so in the extra deck, is we've now bumped up to triple Nadir Servant. Now, why are we playing triple Nadir Servant? I hear you cry. Well, very simply, Nadir Servant is a 1-card Winder lock play. I will show you at the end of the video the one card that utilizes Nadir Servant. I'll show you the combo that utilizes Aluba, which is basically the one I've explained here, of how you can dodge stuff like Draw Unlock Bird. And then on top of that, I'll also show you a combo that can kind of bring it all together so that you can end your board on something like a Mirror Jade, a Darklaw, and a Winder. I know that screams for Super Poly, but it's also a very difficult board for any of the main deck stuff like Super Heavy Samurai or even Pearly to break. Then for the one-offs, of course, we've got the one Lost, the one Red, followed by the one Gold Sark, the one Foolish, one Call By, and then the double Book of Eclipse. Now the deck currently sits at like 45 cards. There are a couple of flex spots in here, and like I did mention as well, you do not have to be playing both the techs. What I mean by that is the Mast Hit change is really kind of cool because as it's a quick effect and can be used in the battle phase, it also means you have the opportunity to upgrade a monster during the battle phase and actually help push for extended OTK plays as well. And then the Deer Servant can be utilised going first and second. Once you've broken a board, if you're not OTKing, more so with this going second or with the side deck involved, just being able to lock your opponent under the window and you've got a Mirror Jade backing up and everything else is very, very powerful. And then massive shout out to James on this one. So he made a comment about gold imperms the last time. So I dug out my ultis just for you. So triple imperm is your additional hand trap. And then the one branded sword. And then finally, the one Shaddoll Schism. Now I know a lot of you are going to go like, what the hell? You've got no Shaddolls in your entire deck. Well, let me explain this. This is how the Deer Servant becomes a 1-card winder. So you activate the Deer Servant will send from your extra deck to the graveyard, well technically a 1.5 because you need a discard, but will send from your extra deck to the graveyard your App Cologne. You will then be able to search out your Quem. App Cologne's effect will then trigger to allow you to add the Schism to the hand and discard a card. Off the back of that, you can normal summon your Quem, or if you've already conducted a normal summon, you don't need to worry about it. As long as you have another Dark in the graveyard, ultimately what you do is during your opponent's main phase is you flip the Shaddoll Schism, you activate the effect, you banish the App Cologne which acts as your Shaddoll monster in the graveyard, and then any Dark monster, so Tragedy, trigger effect, Aluba, Ad Libitum, Macoria, trigger effect, you name it, and that will then allow you to go, boom, winder. And on top of that, if your opponent tries a Dark monster, you can also send it to the graveyard. So very, very kind of cool combo. I use this in my Dark Magician deck as well, and I thought it was something that could be utilized in a profile like this as well. Again, it's not something you absolutely have to play. Like the Nadir combo takes up 2 spots in the extra deck and 1 in the main deck, and then the Mask Change takes up 3 in the main deck, but sadly none of the cards are searchable and 1 in the extra deck. So it really does come down to personal preference and personal play style as to whether or not you play 1, both, or none, but I still think it's a very kind of cool concept. So speaking of cool concept, as I explained at the start, the reason that Darklaw is so good is because it banishes all your opponent's cards. Any hand trap that needs to go to the graveyard cannot be activated. And in that prime example where I told you about a Luba normal summon and go off the back of that, going into a Darklaw sets you up on that. It means you can dodge imperms and Veilers. Your opponent's already burnt a hand trap. And then it means if they do have a draw in the hand, it's completely dead. And then of course the App Cologne with the Winder. Obviously, these are sporting the brand new Ice and Fire oversleeve. So if you want to find out how you can win yourself a set of 15 of these, then stay tuned until the end of the video and I will tell you exactly that. Then, of course, we've got 2 Mirror Jade. So the other Mirror Jade is sporting the Pot out oversleeves. I'm going to give you guys the options at the end to have a set of 15 of any of the designs that I'm going to show you today. So obviously we've got the Pot ones, then we've got 2 Albions. The one Titaniclad, the reason I've kept this in here is because this, of course, can get you a Dogmatica monster during the end phase, and that is, of course, Quem. But on top of that as well, it is a nice way of trying to out certain boss monsters when you need to like beef up your Titaniclad or beef up some of your monsters. This is kind of your best option. If you don't want to play Titaniclad, your other option to play is Quintiris, so it's entirely up to you. We're still playing the one Rinbum alongside the one Lubellion, and we now are playing the one branded Albion, the Sanctifier Dragon. Now the only card this cannot bring back, because it can bring back any of your fusion monsters, is Darklaw, because Darklaw must be special summoned via Mask Change and cannot be special summoned by other ways. However, it can bring back your Winder, so you actually have the ability to loop Winder should you want to, which is quite funny. We've then got the one Dust Dragon. Now this one is sporting the Final Battle oversleeves. So you've got Mirror Jade and Victorious Ecclesia on the left hand side, and you've got Cartesia and Dust Dragon on the right hand side. So that's another new design for you. We've then got Lily Walif on the left hand side, sporting the Dogmatica Despias. So on the left hand side you've got Ecclesia and Fleur de Lis, and then you've got Ad Libitum and you've got Aluba in the top right hand corner. So again, just a couple of options for you guys. And then finally we've got Dark Magician sporting the Dark Attribute one, and then Guardian Chimera. Pretty straightforward and simple on this. The issue was trying to fit all of the different kind of components in, but this is just a concept, guys. Do not go running crazy with this one. It is a concept to show you, if you wanted to play all the techs imaginable, what you could do. If you want to be a bit more different and creative, what you could do. So with that out of the way, I'm going to show you the combo quite quickly. I've already kind of verbally explained it, but now I can visually explain it as well. So we'll start off with Nadir Servant and any random discard. So you activate the Nadir Servant, you send from your extra deck to the graveyard your, wherever it may be. Shuffle it all up, there we go, that'll be alright. Not the window, where are you? There we go, App Cologne, right at the bottom. So you send your App Cologne, you then search yourself out your Quem. Now this is how Quem can actually help you if you haven't conducted your normal summon. So you've got your Quem, you're going to resolve the App Cologne, which will allow you to add the Schism, and you'll discard the random card. In theory, you could discard the Quem, so it does become a 1-card combo, but you need a Dark in the graveyard to complete the window lock. So now this is what your hand is looking like. You're going to normal summon the Quem at the very minimum. You do need to send a Dark, so you can send the Albion Dragon. You can actually send Albaz if you want to. It really depends on what you're trying to set up. If you wanted to rely on your opponent a little bit, you could also send Cartesia. So if they send a monster from their extra deck to the graveyard, Quem will trigger, or sorry, leaves the extra deck. Quem will trigger, bring back Cartesia. You can then use Cartesia's effect to fuse into Dust Dragon. And then Dust Dragon can then send from the deck or extra deck to the graveyard to fulfill your additional Dark monster. So that's one route if you want to rely on your opponent. If you don't want to rely on your opponent, then all you very need to do is off of the back of Quem, you just send a Dark monster. So in this example, we'll send Albion the Shrouded Dragon. Can very easily be Albaz, doesn't really make much of a difference. During your opponent's main phase, you activate Schism, you're going to banish the Albion Dragon, and you're going to banish the App Cologne, and this is going to allow you to spawn the Winder. There you go. So you've got your opponent window locked. If you do have another card in the graveyard, of course, you can use Quem to bring it back. That will then be your one special summon, so you are now under window, but you've ended up building up your board and locked your opponent down with one special summon. So now let's talk about Mask Change 2. Now Mask Change 2 does require an additional layer or an additional card because it does require that discard. So it's going to be one of them ones where you're going to get maximum advantage out of it if you're able to dodge a hand trap, if you're able to dodge something that is trying to stop your Aluba from resolving. So as a basic example, let's say we've been able to get to Aluba, whether it come off a branded opening or just normal summon it. Trigger Aluba's effect, our opponent responds with an Imperm or a Veiler. Now obviously they still have the ability to activate a second Imperm or a second Veiler, but regardless you still then get to, you will lose the search of Aluba, but you still burnt 2 of their cards in hand and you still get to turn this into a Dark Claw. So let's say they've chained a hand trap. Ash, of course, will resolve as normal. But if they activate anything that targets, you chain Mask Change 2, you discard the random card, you target the Aluba as it is a level 4. You tag out the Aluba and you get to go into a Dark Claw. You resolve the effect of the Aluba, allowing you to search yourself out a very nice and very powerful branded fusion. And then, of course, your Mask Change comes into play. So anything your opponent sends to the graveyard is banished instead, meaning that their hand traps like Droll and Veiler are all offline. So we need to burn another hand trap to stop this, or of course if they've got Ash Blossom, which does suck, but if they do, you're still stuck behind a very powerful Dark Claw and they've burnt 2 hand traps. So from this point on, it's basically just branded fusion play. So at the base minimum, you can send, you could go for your Albaz plus your Lubellion, and then you can banish the Aluba from the graveyard with an Albaz, or you can banish just directly the Albion on the board and the Albaz in the graveyard and go into a Mirror Jade. It depends on how far you want to go, and it depends on what other discards you have in the hand. Now, obviously, if you combine the 2 cards, you are starting to push your hand limit up quite a bit because you would require a discard for Mask Change, and then you require a discard off of the App Cologne. So it's one of them ones where the pair of the synergy doesn't really, or the pair of the combos or the pair of the techs doesn't work unbelievably harmonized together, but it is something that can be done, which is why I'm saying this build is a concept for you to go, oh, so if I want to play Dark Lord, that's how I do it. Oh, if I want to play the Shadow Lock, that's how I do it. So you've got the best of both worlds. You can then adapt the deck as you see accordingly. Now, the moment you guys have all been waiting for. How can you win a set of 15 of any of the outer sleeve designs? So, like I said, I've got 5 designs that you can choose from, and I'm going to pick 3 winners base. Every 100 likes the video gets, I will add another 15 sleeves to the giveaway pool. So, how is this going to work? Well, very simply, all I want you to do is subscribe to the channel. So you got to support the channel, guys. Come on. Smash the like button on this video. And then once you've done both of those, and I can check, Just confirm your entry into the giveaway below by telling me your favorite card from the Albaz lore. Now that can be anything. That can be a Tri-Brigade card, that can be a Sword Soul card, heck, it can even be an Ice Jade card. Entirely up to you. It could be anything in a branded Despia deck. I do not mind. It's just kind of cool to see people's opinions of their favorite cards. Some people will go for Mirror Jade, some will go for Aluba. Mine personally, I really like Dust Dragon and I really like the artwork of Lula Walith. It could be for the effect, it could be for the monster, it can be for anything you want. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is as simple as that. So repeating in how you can enter to win a set of 15 outer sleeves of any of the 5 designs in front of you. Simply smash the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you have done both of those, you're 2 steps out of 3 already done. And then to confirm your entry into the giveaway, all you need to do is put down below in the comments your favorite card from the Albaz lore. Do not mind which one it is, I just want to see exactly what you guys are enjoying about the Albaz lore, and then I will pick 3 lucky winners at random to receive 15 of their selected design for these outer sleeves. Like I said at the start, for every 100 likes this video gets, I will add another 15 sleeves to the outer pool. So the more people that like, the more people that win, the bigger chance you're going to get. With all of that out of the way, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, good luck, stay safe, and happy dueling.